The 1990s. This woman once made the world believe in love with just a lone smile. But sometimes the brightest light conceals the deepest cracks. One failed role, one broken romance, and one scrutinized face. Hollywood ignored surgery. From romantic comedy queen to a cosmetic failure, her collapse happened so fast no one could comprehend it. Now 63, Meg Ryan lives peacefully in West Village. No husband, no fame, just memories that once glorious. She was once the face of love but is now emblem of oblivion, abandoned by Hollywood that worshipped her. What made that woman a million-dollar dream? To lose everything instantly. And why that smile that once captivated the world? To comprehend Meg Ryan's tragedy, her stormy path from a Connecticut girl in a leaking roof house to the brightest light in the universe must be traced. After Hollywood, she fell under the same lights that loved her. November 1961, Fairfield, Connecticut. Meg Ryan cried for the first time on a cold, misty morning. Calm town with wooden houses trembling in the cold wind and fading paint on porches. Humble life. Her father, a rigorous math teacher, raised her in a humble Catholic family. Her mother of a failed actress. The little Fairfield Street house cooled as their arguments grew louder. In 1976, her parents split. Meg, 15, stood alone in the cool kitchen. Listening to the door close. Felt like the world had broken. That moment. Meg was the quiet back row girl at St. Pius School, diverting others' gaze. Friends recall her sorrowful gaze. She had a pleasant grin, but would disappear for hours to draw or record her voice. Acting was planted in those lonely moments, not for fame, but for a need to understand people, communicate emotions she couldn't. In 1979, during his journalistic studies at Connecticut and New York University, Meg knew she didn't fit in with dry newspaper articles. After lessons, she worked part-time at a tiny cafe and wrote short stories, scripts, or her mother's acting workshops. Amateur tryouts. A student suggested she audition for a Burger King commercial. After some hesitation, I consented. The lights turned on, and she felt anything odd. She was finally heard. From little ads. I started getting minor TV roles. When she entered Breaking Away, 1979, with minimal wrinkles and clear eyes, a half-shy smile grabbed the director's eye. Next came Rich and Famous, 1981, where she quietly studied how stars controlled the frame, their sight and breath. In 1983, The Right Stuff took her to Hollywood as a tiny child, wife of an astronaut. Meg had never felt the heat of a movie set before. The lights hammering on her face made her quake and thrill. Meg worked, learnt, and feared throughout the 1980s. Her 1982 As the World Turns role of Betsy Stewart was almost lost owing to casting mistake. The night before reaudition, she worked up her smile and speech pattern in front of a mirror all night. Her result was perfect. Then Hollywood noticed the girl with trembling eyes and voice that shone like summer. Persistence got me promised. Her 1987 role earned her an Independent Spirit Award nomination. She then appeared in The Big Easy, Inner Space, and DOA. Her lovely, adventurous, and unique persona grew with each assignment. But Harry Met Sally in 1989. All appeared to cease. Meg Ryan amid the cat's busy delicatesse staged the famous fake orgasm sequence, shocking the team, laughing, then applauding. That few-minute scene, she went from mid-tier actress to American love icon. It grossed over $90 million and garnered her a Golden Globe nomination and immortalized Meg Ryan as a lover and jokester. Hollywood was a magnificent theater for the early 1990s bright stage, Ryan performing for a crowded audience. After the huge triumph of When Harry Met Sally in 1989, she didn't stop inside safety being a romantic comedy honey. She sought a new language of acting. While filming Joe vs. the Volcano in 1990, Oliver Stone unexpectedly offered her the 1991 biographical picture The Doors. It was an unexpected turning point. Later, Stone remembered walking inside the LA recording studio, seeing Meg, the blonde, sweet-faced girl recognized for her light-hearted parts, biting her lip, recording take after take with the band, and sweating through her collar. She wanted to capture 1960s spirit, that musical epic of rebellion, independence, and loneliness. She wore a tattered leather jacket and played guitar for hours during the day, scrutinizing Pam Corson, Jim Morrison's crazy lover. every move to hear how her breath mingled with the discourse. She recorded her voice at night. Though modest in her career, that role made Meg uncomfortable and changed her to girl with a Hollywood grin became a real actor who faced fear straight ahead. She tried a different kiss image and prelude in 1992. Weird Set's soul-exchanging story. Mag suggested executing the she spun bridal petals, and that became a soul sign lost in itself. She practiced for 3 nights. Every move, every head tilt till it seemed natural. Breathing. Even though the picture failed commercially, reviewers called it Meg's bravest move since abandoning the romantic muse. In 1993, Sleepless in Seattle permanently changed. The film was shot on Seattle's rainy streets. New York's sunsets cast a radiance. Her destined screen partner Tom Hanks' relationship spent hours on the phone before meeting in person to build the strongest sense of two souls in love without touching. From a quick peek at the airport to her stillness in the rain, audiences recognized themselves in love. Over $225 million was made worldwide, making Meg Ryan the 1990s romantic comedy queen. Her Golden Globe nomination was more than a compliment. It was to me had won a generation's heart. 2 years later, when Hollywood shined brightest on her, Meg went against current. She played Alice Green in When a Man Loves a Woman, 1994. Mother and wife confront alcoholism. Director Luis Mandoki remembers Meg's long recuperation, sits with actual women fighting their darkness, listening to their shame, destruction, and love tales. She sobbed during the first script reading that filming stopped. This play garnered her a SAG Award nomination and demonstrated she wasn't simply the queen of love, but an actress who can honestly represent tragedy. She continued. In 1995, she reprised Brightness in French Kiss, a light-hearted romantic comedy movie in Paris with Kevin Kline and me depicting a European love story. In 1996, she played a Navy helicopter pilot in Courage Under Fire, a grim war film that required her to master genuine flying controls, complete military training, and endure long days sunshine in the desert. Meg tried animation a year later, singing the princess in Anastasia, 1997. Bringing her image closer to younger audiences. The decade was Meg Ryan's golden age. Addicted to Love, 1997, City of Angels, 1998, where she played Love Learning Angel. Both became movie icons. But her peak came with 1998's You've Got Mail. Her third Tom Hanks collaboration. Meg entered each room of a cozy Upper West Side cafe in fall. She looked like she was made for it. The film earned $250 million. One touched millions, and won her another Golden Globe nomination. Meg Ryan ruled Hollywood. Magazines fought feature her on covers. Fashion and perfume manufacturers collaborated. Everywhere she went, people cheered. As she moved, flashbulbs followed. The name Meg Ryan became synonymous with love, tenderness, and the hope that beauty was still around. Being chosen to speak first position in Anastasia 1997 was significant for Meg Ryan's career as she reached younger audiences and showed her versatility as an actress. To produce a vibrant, emotionally moving voice, Meg spent hours and hours in the recording studio learning to balance pristine classical clarity with warm contemporary tone. Success of Anastasia elevated Meg's profile beyond live-action films and shown her adaptability to romantic comedy, drama, and animation. In the 2000s, after many achievements, Meg's career stagnated. Her films Proof of Life and Hanging Up release in 2000 received mediocre reviews and barely broke even. Kate and Leopold 2001 failed despite her romantic charm, but to impress as much as her earlier works. This time was significant. A significant setback in Meg's filmography and a period of personal turmoil. She gradually faded from the spotlight. Meg had almost disappeared by the 2010s, disappeared from Hollywood, appearing briefly in Lisa Kudra's Web Therapy, before directing and starring in Ithaca 2015, a film with Tom Hanks and her son Jack Quaid. Meg's friends told People in 2013 that she had chosen to leave Hollywood for personal serenity. Living in NYC transforms you. Leah Efron wrote, "Low is a place. New York is more than movie making. Meg is too." Despite career ups and downs, Meg Ryan's love life was turbulent, beautiful, passionate, and final heartbreaking. She first met Dennis Quaid in 1987 on the filming of Inner Space. They were two young actors who spent long days together, filming, late-night chats, and music loved. It wasn't until they rejoined in DOA 1988 that they clicked. Ignited. They grew closer, talked late, and sang more. Friendship evolved into love while they sung in the studio. In 1990, Hollywood called them the new golden couple after they announced their romance. They intended to marry that year. Before their enjoyment could be complete, Dennis admitted he was significantly cocaine dependent. The news shocked me, yet staying instead of leaving. Meg regularly sat with Dennis in rehab, silently holding his hand in the white hospital room for hours. Dennis he later called those events his white light turning point, the moment he knew he'd lose everything if he continued. After surviving that rough period on Valentine's Day 1991, the couple married. The wedding was modest, trusting, and hopeful. Their first kid was born in April 1992. Jack Quaid was born. Life sign of an unbreakable love amid stars. They showed that Hollywood turbulence could not destroy love, but nearly 9 years later, that fairy story ended. In 2000, tabloid published photographs of Meg and Russell Crowe kissing on Proof of Life. Rumors engulfed her in media chaos. Hollywood buzzing. Audiences were surprised. Meg remained silent. Meanwhile, Dennis Quaid was devastated. He said he felt stabbed in the back, but acknowledged their marriage was broken long ago. Both later admitted the affair simply made them admit it. They were too far gone to find them. Way back. They split in June 2000. Dennis termed it fatal. Part of me describes the next era. Depression, rage, eventually acceptance. Through pain, he found himself that he recovered from addiction and started a new profession. Chapter. 20 years later, in September 2024's Who's Talking to Chris Wallace, Dennis, 70, gazed back calmly. Never regretted, he said. Meg was once more famous than him, but she married him. When I met Meg, we were both focused on our careers. Then things just happened. He recalled, pointing to a wall-mounted Top Gun poster. Remembering made him grin. I felt invisible going with her in New York. Itching to be tough, confessed. But we're all just human. Dennis still prioritizes their successful actor son Jack, the most magnificent sign of love and why he never regrets. Then almost a decade later, Meg Ryan spoke. In a 2008 Inches and InStyle interview, she said Russell Crowe did not end her marriage. The affair was the least of what went wrong. She said Dennis has been unfaithful to me for a long time. She said, quite painful. Only after our divorce did I learn the truth. Me's voice was sweet, but her eyes were exhausted. Everything was broken before anyone knew. Both of us erred. So did I, she continued. He was hurt. That connection wasn't sustainable, so I left. Walk away. These simple but biting words closed the Hollywood-admired love story chapter. A chapter without bitterness but alone and accepted, knowing that even hearts which cured millions on screen might break. Similar to Meg Ryan's roles. Still reeling, her failing marriage and job left her emotionally wounded. Meg Ryan suddenly faced more media attention on the 2003 Michael Parkinson program. When asked about the sexual parts of The Cut, a film she made under intense pressure following Proof of Life and hanging up box office failures, Meg curtly said, "Wrap it up." She pulled her microphone away discreetly. Walked off the set, leaving audience murmuring and a bewildered host. The press erupted the next day. News called her a star loser. Control. A fallen icon turned defiant, canceled advertising contracts, dropped talk show invitations, and the previously sweet, kind woman was labeled nasty and arrogant. Me later told the Sunday Times the experience taught him. She learned painfully. I was unprepared for the public and took a long time to recover. They trust. That experience bitterly reminded us that even a moment lost composure can ruin an image, and some cracks linger longer than the spotlight. Despite all the chaos, despite controversies and declining celebrity, Meg Ryan's film legacy is bright. Enduring. She received 3 Golden Globe nominations for Best Actress. Movie, Comedy, or Musical for 3 classic roles. Sally Albright. Harry Met Sally, 1989. Sleepless in Seattle, 1993, Annie Reed. And the 1998 film You've Got Mail starred Kathleen Kelly. Previously, she played Carol. Bradshaw won an Independent Spirit Award for Promised Land, 1987 nomination, confirming her uncommon emotional depth and genuineness on screen. However, Meg Ryan was never loved for her numbers or prizes. Her capacity to connect with emotion made her distinctive. When Harry met Sally, screenwriter Nora Ephron said she modeled Sally after Meg, warm, humorous, and hopeful. According to Tom Hanks, she could fill an entire room with a look or grin that entire room with light. Meg has always shielded her private life behind dazzling lights. She supports several charities gently, kindly, and gracefully. Non-Hollywood groups for women and children. Her co-workers see her as humble, kind, and ready to serve others. People's List has awarded her many titles: the 50 Most Attractive Individuals in the World, the Crystal Award for Women in Film, and Hasty Pudding's Lady of the Year. Meg Ryan's gentleness is remembered more than her glory. Brightness and compassion in every gesture. After a successful career, Meg found new significance. She adopted a Chinese girl in 2006 named Daisy True Ryan, born 2004, calling it fated. In a rare Sunday Times interview, she said, "I thought I would adopt, but I never thought fate would bring Daisy." Unable to explain it. "I know it's beautiful." Now regarding her daughter, I soften, proudly saying my kid studies English. Literature. Perhaps she'll attend Bath. Her eyes sparkled. Meg Ryan has maintained her love for England through fame, love, and time. What counts most is her tenderness, compassion, and love. These may be the queen of romantic legacy's greatest contributions: comedy. The lady who convinced millions that love is worth pursuing when it breaks. Smiling for. In a touching glamour interview in December 2023 magazine, Meg rediscovered her faith in love and life's small miracles. "Our love made me believe in magic. We were destined to be." When she thinks back on her long and arduous journey, Meg no longer off fame or loss, but her two children, Jack Quaid, born April 1992, and 2006 adoption Daisy True Ryan. She asked herself 3 simple questions daily. Are they inspired? Are they happy? After all her life, Meg's philosophy is those 3 basic questions. Storms. A prayer and compass provide tranquility at home. Jack Quaid, Meg's son with Dennis Quaid, grew up on noisy film sets, Hollywood, and the other the peaceful corners of their little New York apartment where his mother taught him to value daily life. Jack was attracted by the rookie set in Austin, Texas, from his early visits to his first film performance in 2012's The Hunger Games, then starred in The Boys, 2019, present, making his own mark. Once, Jack commented, "No one understands me the way my mom does." In Ithaca 2015, I understood she was more than a star. Truly artistic. After family tranquility, Meg opened her heart to love again. She and American John Mellencamp, the rock singer-songwriter, started dating in 2010, breaking up and reconciling multiple times before getting engaged in October 2018. That Entertainment Tonight caught Mellencamp putting a diamond ring on her finger as they strolled the days after Halloween. Meg announced the good news with a playful Instagram hand-drawn sketch reading, "Engaged." Simple and joyful. Yet after nearly a decade of love, after breakups and reunions, they split again in 2019. A close friend of Mellencamp said they adored each other. Meg found balance difficult because love was no longer a story. She said, "I was learning serenity from promises that ready to commit permanently, but I recognized what I wanted most: not a relationship." It was peaceful. Around then, she faced another sort. She seemed pressured. In middle age, Meg became the subject of continuous plastic surgery rumors, especially in the mid-2000s as social media exploded. She said, "Let it go." Meg told the Sunday Times on December 15th, "Anyone can do what makes them feel better as long as it's safe and courteous. The only taboo is Violet's privacy." In a talk with Iadana, she answered, "I cherish my age." Now what? Meg values speaking her views over impressing others. In 2019, when Meg gained confidence and freedom after years of public scrutiny, Ryan returned to the TCM Classic Film Festival red carpet for When Harry Met's 30th anniversary. Audiences saw Sally as the woman they always loved again, still gentle and radiant, but her eyes had more depth. She smiled calmly with Rob Reiner and Billy Crystal. Long, sincere applause 2 years later at the 2021 Farmi wore a sparkling black gown at the LA Gala. Showy, but calm and confident. A woman who has seen everything. In 2023, Meg Ryan appeared unexpectedly beside her old friend Michael J. Fox at the New York premiere of Despite Camera Flashes and Clapping, Me's straightforward grace in a black gown, smiling as she hugged Fox. The crowd was moved by Hollywood's golden age friend. That moment seemed like a small affirmation after years of stillness. And no longer a pursued movie star, she returned. Woman at peace after the storm. Mag lives in peaceful West Village neighborhood in central New York City. Early morning light illuminates her flat. Her youngest daughter Daisy prepares to attend Smith College. Jack, her oldest son, visits between films. Meg takes her daughter to school and stops for coffee at her favorite spot every morning, that corner cafe, and writes screenplays beside the window in the afternoons. Writing down film project ideas in the nights, visits friends or attends small acting workshops to share her experience. Here's the hopes of young performers starting off. Mag explained why she stood down in an October 2023 People interview. I took a long break because there I wanted to explore many other parts of being human. It's great to think of acting as a job, not a hobby. Your life. She revealed her long-awaited return. Meg directed romantic comedy, What Happens Later, co-wrote and performed in. It follows two former couples stuck in a snowy airport overnight. Released November 3, she plays her first romantic comedy in nearly a decade that returned to the genre that made her famous. Through 2024 and 2025, Mag discreetly dedicated herself to movies, attending independent awards, teaching acting across New York, and supporting women and children's charities. She is no longer the 1990s romantic comedy queen, but much more. A mother, independent artist, and woman who knows stage light isn't the brightest. Even after renown and hidden wounds, it radiates from within. Motherhood and filmmaking have brought me Ryan tranquility, demonstrates the power of living authentically and letting go to be. She showed the world that we can always rise again, regain our trust, and brighten our way. What touched you most about me, Ryan's story? Post your views or say, "Love me, Ryan," to show that you also love the woman who made the world believes in love. Follow us for more poignant and unexpected stories. Hollywood Legends Life Stories.